An inset is a great way to show detail on a section of graph that might be hard to otherwise visualize. For example, here I have a graph that has some experimental data that's fit using two different models, but only one of the models is fit for this low temperature value. Now, this data and this example I actually got from a website that showed how to do this in Matplotlib, and you can see the completed inset that they made. Now, they're doing this using code. We're not going to use code for our example in DataGraph. In fact, it's super, super easy to make insets in DataGraph, but the real trick that I liked this example to show is that notice how for the low temperature model, the Dubai model, they don't draw that in the main graph, only in the inset. This is what I'm going to show you in DataGraph. First of all, I have the same data here. They provided it from that website, so I just imported this into DataGraph. I have my my values graphed, and to add the inset, I use the under the label menu, find the magnification option. And when I just add that, boom, I have an inset. Very, very easy. This is very interactive. This is the region I'm going to zoom in on. And here is the inset graph itself that I can just click and zoom to increase how large this is. Now, this also allows me with the object that's created for the inset to type in exactly where I want these to begin and end. If I have an idea where these should be pinned at. But again, I can always just click and drag to to interactively change the region that we have zoomed in on. Now, your pro tip, how do I control what's drawn in the inset versus the main graph? And that's something that I can do inside every command. I'll go ahead and expand out this command, and I want you to see that there is a set of icons that look like a little inset over to the right-hand side. These are clickable. By default, the first one is clicked. That indicates that the element, this line, is drawn in both places. If I click the second, then the line is only drawn down at the bottom, but if I click all the way to the right, then my line is only drawn in the inset. So I can interactively create the inset, drag it around, and even choose what's drawn to it. Couple of other options worth noting. First, I will show you that, look at how there's a little icon here now on this command indicating it's only drawn in the inset. So that's helpful to see even when it's closed. But in the inset itself, if I expand this open, there's a number of options I think are worth mentioning. I don't have to have connect lines. If you want to uncheck that, you can. You may want to increase the thickness of the line itself. I think that is a useful option when you have these insets. Also, if you want to have grid lines or you have grid lines, I'll go ahead and just quickly add X and Y grid lines so you can see what happens. By default, the inset is transparent. If you want to, if you have grid lines, you might want to change the fill to a solid color so you don't see through the inset. Also, I don't have to have grid lines in the inset itself. If I want the grid style in the inset to be none, I can go ahead and do that. So lots of options, very interactive and very easy to add an inset in DataGraph.